Good afternoon, Jamie Breen here. It is Wednesday, June 26th, 2024. Welcome to my vlog. Sitting here in very, very hot Atlanta today. It is going to be 100 degrees again today. There's all sorts of things going on in here. We've got a fan going, which you probably can't hear. We've got a dehumidifier. We've got the air conditioning. So we've got everything we can do here to cool things off in world headquarters, but it's still hot as hell here. But it is what it is. Had a good morning this morning swimming. So that's good. Really, today was, I think, the first workout I've had since my injury about a month ago, where I tore my hamstring. Today was, I think, the first workout I've had where it really felt good. So, and I'll get more into that. Although, as I've been reflecting on the last month and the process of trying to recover from my injury, which is going very well, by the way. I think my hamstring is probably about 90%, reasonably unaffected in swimming. The last hurdle for me was to be able to do the breaststroke kick, which I now can do. So I think I'm, from a swimming perspective, off of the IR. Still have to be careful of the hamstring, but it's I don't feel restricted. I did a long kick set with fins on, albeit at the end of the workout today, and I felt it. There's a little bit of pain still. It's not like it's pain free, but I think the healing is going well, and the place where it was torn, which is right upper part of my leg, close to my glute, really, is a place where it's not particularly affected by swimming. So this is good. Diving in actually this morning, it wasn't like I was doing a racing start or anything, but I dove in off the side of the pool to start my workout, as I always do, and today was the first day that I felt like I could dive without worrying about it. I think I could, go off the blocks and not have an issue with it. And it's funny because the Masters Nationals just ended. They ended on Monday. The mile would have been Monday, which would have been the race that I think I had the best chance of performing well on a relative to my age group. And given where the injury is, it's something I could have done without hurting myself. But I sort of what I want to talk about today is more of the process of the decision not to swim, the recrimination in my own mind for having not swam in the meet, and sort of the feelings of sort of depression that have come, and just it's one thing to just roll with the punches and get on with life. I think it's also important that we acknowledge disappointment, and we acknowledge the emotional toll that comes with the disappointment, like the one that I've just experienced, and perhaps giving it voice is something that will help me to process as I go through my reset. And I feel really good. As I said, this morning was a terrific workout. The water is warm. We have an aerator, a sprayer that we use during this time of the year. If they leave it on overnight, they could probably drop the pool temperature from 88 or so to back down to 85. Still warm, but swimmable, I guess, is something that you would say. So our main set today, we did kind of a ladder. We were pulling. I was pulling. So again, no strain on the hamstring with a pull buoy and paddles. And I do go a little bit faster, in general with that. But so it was 50 pull, 100 pull, 150 pull, 200 pull, and then back down the ladder, 200, 150, 100, and 50. And there are different, speed levels in our group. And so rather than give us a specific interval, we were to do 20 seconds rest between everything. And so for me, the first 50 was like 35, so I went 55, The 100 was 112-ish. I gave myself kind of benefit of the doubt and went on 135. 150 was 150, so went on 210. 200 was then 229, so went on 250. And my goal on the set was to go faster going down the ladder than I had coming up the ladder. So I went 225 on the 200, so subsequently went on 245 for the 150. 150 again on the 150. So the same on the 150, and then on 210. Went 110 on the 100 and 32 on the 50. So it was good to have the gas on the back end, and even in the warm water swim for me pretty fast, albeit with a pull buoy and paddles. But I felt really good, as if the reset as far as physically is pretty well complete. So that was a nice thing to experience. As I say, the hamstrings at 90%. Could I have competed this past week in nationals? Yeah, I could have. I probably wouldn't have hurt myself any worse. But I think the thing that I need to continue to remind myself and just process, as disappointed as I am. I had a plan for this meet, and I trained for it pretty hard, but with a plan. Increasing yardage into gradual decrease of yardage, and literally the last hard workout I was planning to do was the day that I sustained my injury. I had a good workout that Thursday, and then was walking the dogs that evening, and that's when I sustained the injury. And so I was right on my plan, and I had goals for each of my swims, oriented around executing a good taper, and the work that I did leading up to it. We were 200 miles through May for the year, which broke into 35 miles in January, 39 miles in February, 44 miles in March, 46 miles in April, and back down to 36 miles in May. And we were going to do the tapering, start the taper that first week of May, or June rather, into the swim around Key West, which was actually, while I did have some swims that translated pretty close to what my goal time for the mile was, swimming with no walls, but swimming in salt water. And I had two swims in my several shifts that I had in that swim that were pretty tide neutral, and was able to swim at a speed that was relatively close or equal to the goal time that I had for the mile. So I think I was right on track. Maybe could have gone a little bit faster in the taper, and so just for some perspective, had I gone my goal time at nationals, which is 21 minutes, I would have gotten 5th place. So that would have been quite a swim. And again, that's not from what I've done the mile in the last time I did it. That's a good drop, but it's not sort of a crazy stupid drop. And the swim I had, in the Keys, with no walls to push off, and 1.5 weeks out from a torn hamstring, so I literally kicked none. I think that was fairly achievable time. Would have certainly been the highest place that I would have ever achieved in a national competition. So that could have been great. And then looking kind of at the goal times, for my other swims, I think in the 200 back, I think a reasonable swim would have put me 14th, 15th. 200 IM, again, 15th, 16th would have been a swim that I think was very doable. 15th in the 200 free, 10th in the 500 free. So, a couple top 10s, everything in the top 20. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, woulda, whatever. But I'm saying this not in sour grapes so much as I'm saying it just to acknowledge my disappointment, because I had set myself up, I think, for the kind of success that I wanted to have, and then had this kind of injury derail me. And while I think I could have gone physically and not hurt myself any worse, I certainly would have not been able to execute the taper as I wanted to execute it. And from my perspective, to go and swim and not hurt myself really wasn't the objective. The objective was to reach the goals that I had for myself. So, and I'm saying this not, again, because I want to gripe so much as I want to acknowledge my disappointment, and from where it comes, acknowledge the work that I did. And I'm getting close to a reset now. And again, I'm physically pretty good. Swam, as I said, pretty well this morning. Really pleased with the way I swam this morning. So I think I'm getting back to where I need to get. I'm very excited in a couple of days to reach out and see if I can't secure my spot with the boat captain for the summer of 26. I haven't given up on my goals for either Catalina or the English Channel. I do plan to swim in some pool races this summer, if for no other reason, just to see if I can get close to the goal times that I had set for myself. And I think also stepping back, it's important to note that one of the reasons for doing all of this is to carry a VO2 max between 45 and 55 into my 60s, which is it's overall health and well-being really that is important. But they don't call it competitive swimming because you're just trying to be healthy. They call it competitive swimming because you want to compete, and you want to compete well. So anyway, just trying to give voice to some of the feelings I've had over this stuff over the past few weeks. Getting ready to go to the beach in North Carolina. I will say that while I am still pretty resolute in the idea of not consuming alcohol during real heavy training blocks, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't have a couple of beers, a couple margaritas over the past couple weeks as I've been rehabbing the injury. And I think that it's certainly not drinking as much as I have in my. I've never been a heavy drinker, but a more or less typical adult social drinker over the past 20, 30 years. I've had a couple beers on a couple of occasions in the last few weeks. And partly that's just number one, I really enjoy beer and the other, and margs and the other cocktails I've had, but also, there's a little bit of a letdown effect, I think, in all of this. The zero alcohol policy was part of an overall strategy for achieving the goal times I had in my competition, and with that stripped away, I've kind of loosened the shackles a little. I expect to do so during the holiday week again with my family, and then I think once we're secure on boat captain and training strategy for next summer for Catalina, maybe we'll lean back in. But giving myself a break right now, and again voicing the disappointment I've had with not accomplishing what I'd hoped to accomplish at the Masters Nationals this year. So this is my whiny vlog for the week, but giving voice to those things that have caused me pain, and hopefully in giving them voice we can now walk away from them and move forward. So again, we're hoping for more subscribers. Folks may be looking for a non-political wellness / sports oriented podcast. I encourage you to subscribe and all that, but also it's I'm finding this to be quite therapeutic in sort of wrestling with my own demons. So on that note, have a great week, and I will talk to you next week.